Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines we have for you this morning. Bitcoin hanging by a thread, they say. Who's next to go insolvent? Could it be Binance, Tether, or some others? We'll take a look at it. We got new use case for the XRP ledger coming, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to want it. FDIC giving early warning signs and signals. Could we see bank runs? Uh-oh. What could that really mean? And did David Schwartz just describe XRP as a global stable coin? We got the Ripple case countdown. You're going to want it. XRP-TA hits the Atlas line. The last time it did it, 5,000, 100,000% gain. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter for exclusive content. Right now, $824 billion market cap for crypto. We're off by 1%. Good morning. Bitcoin, 16,400 plus. Ethereum, almost $1,200. The Tether market cap is 62.2 billion, they say. XRP, 33 cents. We're watching it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not done it, you better join this group because the door is shutting on this offer in 2 days. Boom, door shuts. Take a look at it. Full access to private Telegram group, weekly live streams. Just had an incredible live stream Wednesday night, every Wednesday night. Private groups and lessons for you. Exclusive VIP ticket to our live event, for which we just locked down a very important key figure to the community. You're going to want to be a part of it. And don't forget, this is the biggest part right here. Your life is busy. Get your life back. You don't have to watch 800 videos a week. I'm going to give you what you need in the overview, but you're also going to find out what the real special treat is about being in this group. And it's the group itself. These people are uber smart. They are uber supportive. It is the right environment to give you the tools and the knowledge you need to prepare for what is coming. We are the next Phoenix Rising in this space. No doubt about it. Join that group. Click the link underneath the video. Digital Perspectives Mastermind Group. Come on in. Right here, we see Bitcoin hanging by a thread, Tether starting to depeg, Binance facing criminal indictments, Crypto.com, Nexo, and KuCoin are likely insolvent already. Things are about to get crazy. Be prepared, says Mike Alfred. You know what? I don't know if all of those things are actually accurate, but I tell you what, we've talked about a lot of this, about Bitcoin going sub 10,000, sub 8,000, some are saying. Some say it's going to go back to 3,000. If Tether gets subpoenaed, just subpoenaed for an investigation, imagine what that's going to do to the market, ladies and gentlemen. We heard in congressional hearing in front of the Senate Banking Committee, it was said that Alameda Research from FTX, the sister company, was responsible for more than half of the market cap of Tether I just showed you. Binance has not done a full-on independent audit yet. Something is coming, and we know that John Deaton has told us many times already to be prepared for Gary Gensler's SEC to sue exchanges here in the U.S. Head on swivel. Question: what's the one thing that always increases in prolonged bear market and or recession? Asked John Deaton. Shout out to him. He says litigation is the answer. This is a reminder of what we covered yesterday very quickly. Edison X using the XRP ledger to purchase buying and selling of electricity usage rights. We have yet to see the use cases of this XRP ledger really begin. And here's more of it right here. Shout out to Zen Warrior here, who shows us option trading. Option trading on the XRP ledger will revolutionize finance. Lots of people are sleeping on the birth of option trading via XCore on the XRP ledger. Take a look at this. Equity options today are hailed as one of the most successful financial products to be introduced in modern times. Now, what kind of liquidity and activity you think that's going to bring to the ledger? Look at this. They're derivatives, which means their value is derived from the value of the underlying investment, which most frequently is equity shares in a publicly listed company. I mean, think of this. We talked about this. Remember, this SEC voted unanimously, including Gary Gensler, to use distributed ledger technology to get their settlement time to T0. Remember that? You know, there is a change a-coming, ladies and gentlemen, and it may get scarier before it gets actually better. This is another clip here from Wall Street Silver. FDIC quote, "You don't want a huge run on the institutions," and they're going to be. Another major clip from the FDIC meeting showing this is going down soon. They are expecting it. This was from last month.
Wondered whether there are some market tests of whether you're being heard. And I think about TLAC. So TLAC should respond to good and bad news about the institutions. And it's really important. I mean, it's a little bit conflicted, right? I mean, it's important that people understand they can be bailed in, but you don't want a huge run on the institution. But they're going to be. And it could be an early warning signal to the FDIC and the primary regulators when these things happen. And there may be some other prices. This is similar to what Jay was saying in the market, that you can tell whether people understand who's going to be protected, who isn't going to be protected. It would be, I think, an interesting study to look at the evolution of market prices in a situation like March of 2020, for example, and see whether people understood what might happen.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, you know, if this comes to be that we see a huge run on the institutions and banks, would that cause a collapse? You know, there have been those, and at times we've even talked about this on the channel, about the idea of the Federal Reserve note being abolished and a repatriation and introduction of a new note being introduced, like a U.S. Treasury note. If this thing goes as hard as what they're pontificating here and can at least entertaining, is that so far out of reach? You know, I'm not trying to be an alarmist, but this is the FDIC meeting, okay? This isn't a group of YouTubers sitting around, but we catch all the hell because we report on what they're saying, right? We speculate on what they're having conversations about. Speaking of conversations, here's Stanford Junior University talking about it's possible to envisage even more adventurous arrangements. For instance, a special drawing rights-based stablecoin issued by a multilateral agency reminiscent of John Maynard Keynes' proposed supranational currency Bancor, and we've talked about this, which would be exchangeable with any national currency. Any national currency could thus be convertible into any other national currency in 2 steps via the stablecoin. Listen here now. Such an arrangement would resemble the cross-border payment system that Ripple currently operates with its XRP currency and is just one of a variety of possible alternatives, it says. Any democratic alternative should allow for private sector solutions. Multi-currency corridors, for instance, should not rule out the use of regulated private stablecoins or cryptocurrencies, even though such solutions might require additional regulations as discussed below. So, look, that's what's being talked about there at the Stanford Junior University, while we listen to the FDIC talk about massive bank runs taking place on the institutions. We covered Bob Way yesterday. Shout out to him and Happy New Year to him and his family. He says no, XRP can't be changed into a stable coin of any type. And I've been trying to get my mind wrapped around this because we've seen other entities report that that's how they view XRP and XLM. He says, however, here, and it's important because, I mean, he's such a smart guy. I feel like, honestly, if we get a chance to sit down with Bob, I feel like we could bridge this gap to understand where his view is and his understanding of how things go versus the other entities we're going to look at in a second, right? And that, I think that would be important for all of us. So I hope we get a chance to sit down with him. I really, really do. He does say here, however, as mentioned elsewhere in this giant tree of tweets, I love that, it is possible to build a stable coin as a new currency issued on the XRP ledger. Well, does that happen to speak to, what we just read from Stanford Junior University? Does that happen to speak to a collapse should we see one and a run on the banks? I don't know. He says here, however, he goes on to say, until there are on-chain contracts, the monetary policy of the stablecoin would need to be managed external to the XRP ledger. Think of Codius, which is for smart contracts. Gosh, I hope we get a chance to sit down with Bob. I really do. But this is where I get confused. The Financial Stability Board describes what is a global stablecoin. They say a global stablecoin is a stablecoin with a potential reach and adoption across multiple jurisdictions and the potential to achieve substantial volume. Well, understanding that the XRP ledger is a decentralized exchange is a great understanding that you can reach substantial volume because it's a decentralized ledger for the world, right? Understanding that it's jurisdictionless, it can go across multiple jurisdictions. You tell me what this sounds like, and I am not trying to put words in David Schwartz's mouth, but it sounds to me like he is describing something very close to what the Financial Stability Board connected to the BIS and the G20 are describing here. Take a listen.
Opportunity. So stablecoins and CBDCs can make domestic payments better, and that's extremely important because if domestic payments aren't good, international payments can't possibly be good. Every international payment, at least a retail or consumer one or anything that's not directly between the largest banks, there's going to be a domestic payment on each side. If I'm going to pay a vendor in Italy, there's going to be a domestic payment once my funds get to Italy to that vendor. And so making domestic payments better is essential if we're going to make everything else better too. XRP is an efficient bridge between two assets, including stablecoins and CBDCs. It's neutral, it's jurisdictionless, it's censorship resistant, it doesn't have any central counterparty that you need to trust, so it can be used as a sort of universal bridge. And blockchains are what provide that level playing field so that banks and regulators can live in a multi-asset future without having to deal with hundreds of different APIs, hundreds of different controllers or different rule sets.
I don't know what to say. I mean, look, I'm the layman. I mean, listen, if it was up to me to work on the XRP ledger, it'd be 2 tomato cans and a piece of string, pull it tighter so we can hear each other. It wouldn't work. We need people like David Schwartz in the world and the Bob Ways and all of this. I'm not that guy, but what I hear from the layman there is something very close to the definition that's given by the Financial Stability Board here is what I'm hearing. I don't know about what you're hearing. Be interested to see your thoughts. But that's where I get confused because, maybe it's such that you would make a stable coin off of XRP itself as a pool. I don't know. But somewhere along the line, 13 months ago, the World Bank felt that XRP and XLM are in fact stable coins for cross-border payments. And there is no confusing that from the World Bank. There's also no confusing it from Mark Carney, the former governor of the Bank of England, here saying exactly the same thing about XRP and how it could be used as a coordinated global official sector stablecoin. What I do know is this. The Ripple SEC case is on a countdown, ladies and gentlemen. We know that James Filan, shout out to Jim, has told us that he believes on or before March 2023. So if he happens to be correct on that, we're inside of 90 days, ladies and gentlemen. Now, some say it could go to April or May, so either way, we could do it standing on our head, couldn't we? things are coming to a head. And I can't wait to see what it looks like when we get out the other side. And speaking of coming out the other side, let's take a look at the TA here from Egrag Crypto. Give him a follow. He says the Atlas line is an important line. Now, it doesn't mean that things are going to happen. It doesn't have to. But the last couple times that it hit the Atlas line, we saw a 5,000 plus gain. And then the second time after that it hit, we saw a 100,000% gain. And we're dancing around that Atlas line right now. What could we see going forward off of this? Will it be just nothing? Will it rely on fundamental news of the Ripple case ending and being resolved to some degree? I don't know the answer. But I tell you this, I'm here until we find it. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.